Hey everybody, I'm Carla.
It's Cesar.
Welcome back to another episode of Carla and Cesar's Modern Life.
Episode 28.
Hey,
Nice.
28.
28 episodes in a
exciting.
row. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Last week we broke format and we played We're Not Really Strangers, and that was a really fun episode. Shout out to everybody that watched that video.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Sammy Love, who gave us the idea. Because we said that a friend of ours did it, but we didn't say Sammy Love.
Right.
So shout out to Sammy
Shout
Love.
out to you, Sammy Love.
Yeah. And so we're back this week, and tell me what happened. How's your week been?
It's been good. I've just been working as always and working out, also running. I went running a couple times. I kind of haven't been as consistent with that, but I know that I really enjoy it and I get a lot out of running outside, like in nature.
Yeah.
So hopefully now that it is going to be getting darker earlier, hopefully I'll be able to start doing that more often.
Yeah.
What else? We had a fun weekend. That was cool. We went to see Cuco. That was really fun.
Yeah, he was really good at playing the music that he played. He was like multiple instruments, and then the songs he would just go back to back to back.
Back to back, yeah. That was crazy. And then the band was cool.
Yeah, the screaming teens.
Oh my god, I was not expecting that.
Those kids, they were like screaming bloody murder. And
like Harry Styles level.
Yeah, and then it's like, hey, like Cuco, he's a very talented guy, but he's not a looker, if you know what I'm saying. Like he's just a regular dude.
But I think it's his talent and
and he sings
his
love
charisma.
songs. So like any young person listening could be like, he's singing about me. Because it is very romantic. His songs are like super, they're mostly about like, I miss you, I love you, and shit like that. So I just like, the lyrics are easy to sing and the songs are very catchy.
They're catchy.
And just every style that he blends is just really good. So that's why I like it.
Yeah, at work when I was telling people, because people would ask me like what kind of concert I went to.
Yeah.
And so I had to explain to people, and I was like, it's like indie hip hop with English and Spanish and just lots of combinations.
Yeah.
That's how I explained it.
It's hard to explain because it's like, it feels like he's making new versions or he's, to me, some of the songs feel like oldies, but not oldies. Like the same attitude and like, you know, openness of an oldie song where it's like straight up I love you and stuff like that. And then even the same kind of melodies, but with all modern instruments. So it's like, what?
And lyrics.
And the lyrics too, right? Because he's talking about new shit, like doing drugs and stuff. And like, obviously they didn't do that in the oldies. Yeah. Like in like old like Motown and shit like that, but it has those elements in there. Even like some of the songs that like are not covers and stuff, like you hear some of this like melodies, like I said, like of stuff that we heard growing up and stuff like that. Even some of the elements of like a lot of Spanish rock that's popular, even like that's popular 10-20 years ago, like he'll throw that in there too. And we took our friends Corey and Michelle, and their minds were blown too.
Yeah. Because
they hadn't seen somebody like they had only heard his music that week. Yeah,
when we told them about him, they were like, they hadn't. I think Michelle said she had heard one song with Casey Musgraves, and what's the other guy?
I don't know, Adriel or something. The song sitting in the corner.
She had heard that one.
Yeah.
So that's one that people might know.
Yeah, it's true. So yeah, it was a great concert, and I got a hat. Should have worn the hat for this episode. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
In the future, you'll see me wearing that hat. Don't worry.
They can watch the Rodriguez show.
Oh yeah, wear it on the Rodriguez show.
There you go. And then also on Friday, we went to a bonfire that was organized by your friends.
Yeah, Daniel James. I was unclear to me the whole time whether this was a public or private event, because he sent me the flyer, and then I was like, "Do you want me to promote it on the show?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Okay." But then, I mean, it was really big, and a lot of people were invited. I mean, I guess everybody that, you know, listens to the Rodriguez show or like, you know, knows Daniel James is like invited, because it's all a community of people anyway. So it was fun to go and like hang out with some of the people. And it was cool to be in a setting that was nobody except for, I guess, shout out to Priscilla, who was like keeping things together. Nobody was really working. It was more like fun, like that, because even the Cool Lab, you know, we want to hang out with Rocky, but he's also hosting it at the same time, and it was cool to hang out with him and stuff like that.
That's true.
Yeah, and it was, and I always talk whenever I get too drunk. I start like talking more honestly with people, and so I had like a 20-minute conversation with Brian to Earth about like doing this like video production stuff, and it was cool to talk to somebody that can understand like the same. I mean, you see it, you understand because you see me do it, but it's all somebody else doing it their own way too. Is like it's a grind, you know. But we're all doing it because we believe in it enough to like throw it up there and be like, oh yeah, maybe this one doesn't get that many views, but this one else is. But like the point is, you're making it and you're having fun doing it. So,
right. So and you're learning along the way.
Yeah, and you're always trying to improve. Yeah, like right now I have to shoot 2 drones now, so it's like we figured out even this, like we didn't mention it last couple videos, but we switched the things around now. We moved the table now.
We did
at an angle.
They probably noticed the background is different. Yeah, we didn't talk about it, but
I wanted to have my pins in it.
Oh, okay. Good for you, honey.
It does ruin kind of the yin and yang thing that we had going on, but yeah. But I think
we also never talked about that either.
Yeah, we just kind of like, because if you had noticed before watching these videos, you noticed that I was sitting on Carla's side with the art, and then she's still sitting on my side. But I feel like this angle kind of gives us more flexibility in the small room that we're recording in. So yeah, and I didn't like the blanket either.
Oh, okay.
The blanket was good for the audio, but it just doesn't look good in the shot.
You like this better then?
Yeah. Good. So shout out to that was some behind the scenes. Shout out to everybody that will post this separately from the episode.
Why? It works.
Yeah, it's true.
It's cute.
It's true. Yeah, just see if you're watching. That's a programming note. So yeah, is there anything else you want to say about your week?
Oh, I went to Improv.
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot. How did I forget to bring that up?
Yeah,
it felt really good.
This is a positive one. Positive experience. Your second time participating?
I might cry. I didn't know I might cry because we forgot to even mention that I was going to talk about it. But no, I'm not going to cry. I had a really good experience that I was not expecting to have. But it was like difficult to like. So first of all, I was trying to get there late on purpose so that hopefully all the spots were taken. So by the time that I got there,
you wouldn't have to participate.
I wouldn't have to participate and I could just watch. But I was late like by 5 minutes and I still made it. So I was like, okay, I was like, I'm here, I'm going to do it. And I was scared and I didn't participate. Well, I participated in the warm up, but then I didn't participate in the first activity. I just was not ready. But then it was great because that gave me the time to be like, okay, Carla, like you're here, like, you know, like what is there to lose? Like just like put yourself out there and like, oh, like worst case scenario, you like learn something. Cause last time I told you guys about it,
you held back. Yeah.
And so this time I just was like, you know, like we've been me talking to myself, like we've been like working on this, like working on like not playing small. And so that was like all it took. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I participated in 2 of the exercises and it felt really good.
Nice.
Because I got some laughs.
Oh, shit.
So it was great. And then also I feel like people were more likely to like talk to me afterwards. Maybe before, because I like wasn't being as vulnerable, maybe it was like harder to talk to me.
Yeah.
But like so many people talked to me yesterday and I was like really like just grateful and like it was really like what's the word, like they were like hyping me up basically. Nice, like saying like you did a really good job.
Yeah.
And complimenting me. And so I was like, it just felt great and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like keep doing it more consistently.
That's great.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, it must it must feel good to get a laugh when you're on stage.
Yeah.
Does it, like when you heard that, like you felt did you like get
it just
distracted?
confirmed what I already knew, like
that you're funny,
that I just needed to do it.
You needed to do it. Yeah.
And it made me realize that it like what you have to say doesn't even have to make sense. Like you just like say whatever comes to mind and like make it work. Yeah. And that was really cool.
Because the people around you want to build a scene, right? Like you want to yes and it, so you gotta do it.
Yeah. And so I'm especially, I mean, maybe I shouldn't be like not bragging about this, but like I'm kind of proud of myself for like being able to do it, even though like I haven't taken classes. So it just makes me want to take classes to be like, let me see how much more I can learn, you know?
Yeah.
Because I've gone there to watch it a couple times and then participated that one other time. But other than that, like, I just know based off of what I know off of like TV and movies. So I'm very curious and like intrigued now.
Well, congrats. I'm excited that
Thank you.
for you to continue this.
Thank you.
Put yourself out of your shell a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Like, I was gonna ask, because I was asking you, like, how did you feel when you got that laugh? Because I only feel like, even though I host events, like, I feel like I've only ever got like one where I was like, I said a joke and then people laughed and I was like, oh shit, it was crazy. Like, it feels good.
Yeah. Well, honestly, like, not to be dramatic, but like, it did kind of feel like an out of body experience, because I was just kind of like, I kind of like blacked it out for a little while. Like, it took me a minute to like remember what I said. Yeah, it felt good to get the laugh, but at the same time I was like not really focused on it, because I was just trying to like focus on like being present. But it was, if anything, it was like encouraging. Yeah, if I keep talking about it on here too, it'll keep me accountable, so I'll have to keep going.
That's true.
Okay, so yeah, moving on to the dark side of the light chasers.
Yeah.
Okay. So this week, well, it's been a few weeks since the last time we talked about it, but we're talking about Know Thy Shadow, Know Thyself is the title of the chapter. This week we had to do you want to summarize it?
Yeah, so for the chapter, it was similar to what we had talked about in the past about like what triggers you about other people, but this is a little more tailored to like specific things that happen to you. So like there was and what energy you put off too. I mean, I forgot about that part too, where it's like how you think you come across to people versus how you actually come across to people, and examining like the energy you're putting out, because it's not just about what you say or how you're presenting yourself verbally, but it's also the rest of it, like visually. How do you back up what you say? And part of it was like people can read whether you're actually confident in what you're saying by your body language, and like because
it just like it's in your subconscious, like it happens without you even realizing it.
You
just like make a judgment based on what you know.
Yeah, and so that was it, and then it was like a chapter and a half kind of, or 2 chapters, where it went into like specific things that, so how do you present yourself in a way, and what word would you use to describe it? And so somebody described somebody negatively as a coward, and they're like, but what really bothers you about that word coward? And then they said that they've always strived to not be a coward in their life, and then so what she had that person do was think like, well, when has being a coward ever been beneficial to you? And then they thought back to the time where they were in a situation where it was a guy, he was gonna go drink, be in a car that was gonna be driven by a drunk driver to go to another bar, and then in that situation he didn't want to tell his friends, like, I don't want to take this risk.
He had like a gut feeling that he shouldn't go.
But he was a coward in the sense that he was too scared to tell his friends that he didn't want to go with them in that car, or even say anything about the fact that they were drunk driving. And so he told them he had a date, and then by him not getting that car, got into a car accident, and one of his friends passed away, and he had blocked that in his head, like he didn't even think about that. But that's what he associated the word coward with, and he saw that in somebody else, and
that's
made him
why
angry.
he buried it inside him, was like, I am not associated with this word. And so, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Like, I already knew this, but like putting it into the context that you just it's crazy, because it's like, how often do we do that, and like how many like memories must be buried, you know? And
so that's the part that
and also like how powerful is your mind to like be able to do that, to like protect you, right? Because that's like why it happens, like it's like your mind's way of protecting you. So that's wild.
It's a defense mechanism, and is to put that away, and then to resent, to forever not want to be associated with those words or whatever that attribute is, because it reminds you of that. Or so then the exercise that we did was we had to hear a list of words. Most of them were insults, or I just adjectives sometimes. And it was just about like, what words, if somebody were to call you this, would it inspire some kind of like a emotion, a reaction. And some of the stuff,
because if it doesn't affect you, then that means that you just don't have any association to it.
Yeah, exactly. So like, some words like, for one of them was like slutty or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, no, like that's easy, because you're like, well, no, because I don't associate myself with that word, and and if somebody were to call me that, I would just laugh.
Yeah.
And then there's like other words where I thought like being phony or like inauthentic, those were words that I was like that kind of.
Same here.
Yeah.
But I feel like there were so many words that could, like, adjectives that you could be, that it's like, it for me, I feel like I would have to spend some time with every single word, and then like really see, like, because it could maybe take some time to realize maybe there is something hidden that might resonate with me and that I've forgotten. So I feel like I want to spend more time with it. But I have been getting like little like epiphanies of my own, like as I meditate. So, or like when emotions come up, that I then catch myself and think like, why, I get curious about why that's my initial reaction versus what I realize like after that. And so things like maybe like breaking something might make me angry, but then I'm like, but it's fine. Like it sucks, but it's an accident and it's replaceable. Yeah. So it's like, and like consciously I know that. So it's like, but I still want to know like why, like where does this anger come from? And I just like realizing things like that make me super curious about how it feels in my body, because I feel like that's how I feel it. It feels like a knot in my stomach or something like that. And so I just, what I've been doing during my meditations or during those times, like I feel like I get pretty overwhelmed when I have like a realization like that. And so I take time to just breathe into the part of my body that I feel it in, and then like let whatever emotion or whatever comes up come up, because like I feel like I have been like suppressing for such a long time that this is like my way of releasing it, because I feel like I just want to cry, and that's how it comes out of me. And it's like, I have no control, and like sometimes I'm talking to you and I'm just like, I'm just crying. Like I'm fine. But like it's just coming out of me, and like I'm just letting it.
You're getting the work done.
Yeah.
It was interesting in this chapter, or in the chapters that we read, that she even acknowledges that some people are like, when am I going to be done with this? Because I've been working on it for so long. But now that we've been a few chapters in, like I feel that it resonate more. Like I feel like I wasn't taking it seriously before, but now I'm like, yeah, no, this stuff really works. Like I really feel it. I really feel like trying to analyze the situation and then not let it affect me as I would have before. Like if I didn't really think about why is this bothering me or whatever. And I would just be angry instead. Yeah. So for me, the words that really triggered me were, like I said before, inauthentic and like being a phony. And then I think about that because it really, because I have that imposter syndrome, I think, because I feel like that sometimes about myself. And then and then I'm a really big judge of who can be real and who's not real. Like I always judge people in that sense, like whether it be like people in other platforms that they're like, or like artists and stuff, and that I know, or like even in the world, I'm like, I want people to be real, and this shit's fake. I can see it, like, or it doesn't feel authentic to me. And so it bothers me when we go. And so, but I also feel like I feel like a phony sometimes too. So it makes sense why it triggers me in other people, because it really does. Like So, but then I'm trying now to look at the other way, where it's like, you're here for a reason. You're doing these things for a reason, and the more that I like lean into what I'm a little bit unsure about, like my confidence in doing, the more I'm being rewarded with it. Like I was never this sure about putting myself out there to be a person that we're gonna record videos for people, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna still like push it, because if I specialize in what I know for sure I can do, then I'll get work like that, and then I've been rewarded with being able to get people that actually want me to do that for them. I'm just looking forward to continuing to do it, work. All right, let's get into the first scenario here, Am I the asshole for having strict conditions for my friend to be my roommate? I am a 22-year-old male. I received an apartment from my family as a gift for having attended a prestigious college. The apartment is 3-bedroom, 2 baths. It is 20 minutes from the college on foot. I use 2 rooms for me, 1 bedroom, and a study place. I usually pay 50% of my expenses while my parents pay the other 50%, and I decided to rent the other room for a price well below the area to relieve my part. 1 bedroom, or 1 bed, 1 bath apartment, or a house price at $750. So some is that price, and it's just a rent, not including anything. So I was offering $350 all inclusive. So he was saying in this messed up sentence that usually a house is $750 a month, and he was only going to charge $350 for the room with utilities and everything.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Fred, a 21-year-old male, was looking for a place near the college, and I heard I was offering a room. I said yes, but I had conditions. 1, don't arrive home after 10 p.m. because I have to go to sleep at 9 and wake up very early the next day. The rooms don't have very thin walls, but I have a very sharp hearing that makes me a light sleeper, and I have trouble falling back to sleep, except in some cases of emergencies, unforeseen event, or prior notice. So he could only come back after 10 p.m. with permission. No pets. You can't touch my things.
Food, etc. They wrote good, but I think they meant food.
This guy doesn't know how to type. You can't touch
on top of all this.
I know.
You can't type.
You can't touch my things, food, etc. You can't enter my room without permission. The rest of the house is okay. Number 4, common areas. I don't want you to decorate. Stay the way it is. Your room, you can do whatever you want. Number 5, television, cell phone, talk sound low after 9 p.m. due to my hearing.
Oh my God.
He wanted to say that my rules were stupidly strict, and of course no one would abide by that, calling me an asshole and a cosplay of Sheldon. I found that part funny from the Big Bang Theory. That's what he was referring to. I don't know how you find that funny, because that show's not funny. I pointed out that my rent was one of the lowest and a good place near college, but those are my conditions, which I think are reasonable as I own the apartment and live there. If the person doesn't want it, fine, but good luck trying to find something so cheap. He called me an asshole and a bunch of shit. So am I the asshole?
I think you are the asshole.
Yeah, because that person's paying. Like, even if they're paying $350, they're paying money to live there.
Should get a say.
You can't control their life.
Yeah. And I feel like if you're gonna make it that strict, like, you're gonna get some sort of, maybe not weirdo, but maybe not the person that you want, because he offered it to his friend, right?
Yeah, because who's gonna abide by these rules?
Yeah, like, if you're trying to offer it to a specific person, then they get some sort of say too.
Yeah.
And then if you're willing to be super picky, like, yeah, like, people probably, I'm sure a lot of people would be happy to, like, abide by those things, like, if they are on the same schedule, then, or, you know, situation, then why not? But
I mean, it's still a lot of things, like I wouldn't want to live anywhere where they told me you have to be home at a certain time.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, no, I think you're a jerk, because it's like, well, then live by yourself, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if your parents are paying for half your expenses. Like,
right.
What do you have to pay for then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
Like, you aren't even paying rent, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, might as well just live by yourself, enjoy it. It's probably better for him too.
Yeah, and then nobody has to be a dick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Do you want to read it?
Yes. Am I the asshole for not wanting to attend a Game of Thrones themed wedding?
Oh, shit.
My friend Lexa is getting married soon. She and her husband are extreme Game of Thrones fans. They watched the show 5+ times. Their house is decked out with Game of Thrones themed decorations and accessories, etc. Because of their shared love of Game of Thrones, Lexa and her fiance decided to have a Game of Thrones themed wedding. I'm perfectly fine with the idea of a themed wedding. I am even okay with the Game of Thrones dress and costume for the wedding. The only thing I can't seem to get behind is the fact that the majority of the wedding will be conducted in High Valyrian. For those who don't know, it's a made-up language from Game of Thrones.
No.
Her wedding is also a destination wedding, and I'm finding it hard to justify going out of the way to go to a wedding that's not even in a real language that I won't be able to understand. Am I the asshole if I don't go? I mentioned that I was having doubts to Alexa, and she got really mad at me because I had originally said I could go before I knew it was in High Valyrian. She's also been sending me links to learn High Valyrian and Duolingo. Oh my god, it's on Duolingo. And I feel like even if I did show up, she'd be mad at me for not learning it. Edited to add, the reception will also be in High Valyrian, and all speeches and toasts are expected to be in High Valyrian too. No, that's too far.
In a made-up language. For one day, you're gonna have somebody learn a whole damn language.
That's a lot to ask.
That's the most expensive thing I've ever heard of. Not expensive in money, expensive in time.
Mm-hmm.
Who would do that?
Who is this invested?
Who, like, I mean, I guess maybe like her wedding party too. They were all Game of Thrones fans, but this is ridiculous.
It's a lot. That's a lot to ask.
You're not the asshole for not wanting to go. This is hilarious. Game of Thrones theme wedding. Like, who would have the whole language too? Like, come on.
Like, if that's your thing, good for you. But like, you can't force that on somebody.
Like, your wedding, like we say all the time, is for you. 99% for you. But you got to consider that 1%, which is to give people at least something to look at that they can understand.
Yeah.
If you're going to be the show and you're going to make it about yourself, which is fine because it's your day, at least let people be participating 100% in it by letting them understand and not having to learn a whole new language.
I wonder how many people can do that.
Yeah, like who has the time to learn a whole language? I mean, maybe imagine your parents. Like if your parents are older,
my parents would not be learning.
They would not. But I'm like, I'm saying, like not your specific. Yeah, like you're an example, your parents, but like also anybody's parents. Like they don't have time for this shit.
No.
No matter what.
So
they're
maybe
doing.
they'll realize that they're doing too much.
Yeah, I mean, this was viral, and it might. I mean, it sounds too fake. Like, who would do this?
I mean, there's room for everything in this world.
That's a funny reasoning, but yes, I agree. Yeah. So, don't go to that wedding. Thank you for sharing, though.
Yeah, thanks for the laugh, and good for the people that are going to.
Yeah. All right. Last one here. Am I the asshole for admitting I lie to my girlfriend? I am 18. My girlfriend Peyton is 19. We've dated for 2 years now. I don't want this to come off like I'm bad-mouthing her, but I've learned early on that if Peyton isn't happy, nobody is. And the day/night/date, whatever it may be, is toast.
Toast.
This is dramatic. I remember once when we were out hanging out on Friday night, and it was like 5 months into dating. She was all excited about this butterfly tattoo she was going to get at 18. I said I thought it looked kind of goofy, and she said I was restricting her freedom and didn't speak to me for a week. After enough bad times, we'll call them that, ended with her pouting, giving me the silent treatment, ignoring texts, calls, etc. I decided it was easier to tell her, but we'll keep her happy. So I just started going along with everything, going with the flow. Yes, dear, sounds great, all the time. A few nights ago, we were with friends of ours, and God knows why we were playing this Have You Ever game, and someone was like, have you ever lied to the person you're dating? She said no, and I said yes. She obviously gave me the what the fuck stare, and I tried to clarify my line to her isn't like, I'm telling you I'm at the gym, but I'm really with another girl. Mine are like just little lies so everyone stays smooth sailing, and she doesn't get angry with me. And she's saying I'm the asshole. Am I the asshole?
This poor kid.
Yeah, 18 years old, man. You're already doing the. This is crazy because this is like what like the old back in the day, like just happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
But that's not how it's supposed to be.
Yes, dear. Sounds good or sounds great.
18 years old.
Why? You're 18. Please don't do this. But you have to learn somehow.
Yeah, like it's not. You're not the asshole for trying to keep your girlfriend happy, but
that's not your job and your responsibility. Like everyone's happiness is their own hands, their own responsibility. And you can try to help with that, like by contributing to by being a good boyfriend, but that's about it. Like I feel like maybe he doesn't know if he's being a good boyfriend or not, but I feel like you're maybe not right for each other because like the right person will not bring that out of you, where like you're having to people please and like walk on eggshells basically.
Yeah, that's how you know you're wrong for the person, is if you're worried about like having to tell them one thing and they're going to go off on you or ignore you because you didn't tell them the right thing. Like that's unhealthy.
Like, yeah, exactly. And so maybe like this is you learning this for the first time, and like that's fine. Like I feel like good thing that you asked, because you know some people might not ask like, is this okay? Like, you know what I mean? Like if that's all you've ever seen, or like that's all you know how to do, then you might end up like stuck in relationships that keep repeating that cycle, you know, until you figure out like, oh, this is about me.
Yeah, for
something
sure.
that I have to work on. So, you know, good for you for asking. Hopefully like you get some awareness from this, and it sounds like the girlfriend has some of that to do as well. Yeah,
like they just all need to grow up and learn and mature. And I mean, that's how you know, like it just comes down to like, it doesn't matter what, like if you're unhappy like with somebody, then nothing's gonna fix that, because you're unhappy with them to begin with, and there's a reason. Like maybe you don't have to be there. And you know, young people, you don't have to be attached to the one person. Like you know, it's about growing and learning. So
and I feel like it's possible for them to like both realize this and like, and then maybe like take a step back and think like, do we really want to be together? And maybe they do, and maybe they work on whatever it is that
that's a
brings that out of them. But at the same time, it's like you're so young, like you have so much to experience, that it's like,
is it worth it? Like maybe one conversation could change that, but then if it doesn't, then is it worth to keep pushing something, like force it when it doesn't? But it's definitely worth having that conversation. I mean,
definitely.
But then it's the same time, like the personality thing. Like maybe Peyton is just somebody that's always been said yes to, and that's a whole bigger issue that you're not going to overcome by just telling her that, you know.
Right.
So who knows? So I think that was good. Those were good scenarios.
Yeah. Those were, they were all good. Yeah. Interesting.
So a great episode this week. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Comment.
We appreciate everyone who has.
Thank you to the people that have watched our videos. We just released our Trader Joe's boba kit review video. That was fun to make, and it was delicious.
It's delicious. We've had it since one more time.
But I remember having it a bunch of times, like since then, like a bunch of drinks, like at least 4 or 5 times.
Oh, okay, that's good. I'm glad.
And and then the music reactions. We're gonna keep doing those additional videos, and then keep bringing you a podcast every week. So it's like we be doing.
It's been fun. Thank you for everyone who's watched, who's commented, subscribed, and shared. We appreciate you guys. And let us know if you ever have any suggestions, any videos or anything you want to know about us.
And lastly, just follow me on Instagram at @IamCesarRod, and you can follow the Rodriguez Show at The Rodriguez Show. And if you need me to produce your podcast, just hit me up at @IamCesarRod, podcast, YouTube videos. Let me know. I can help you out. We're gonna find you
on Instagram, CarlaLaRod89. I also have a plant page where you can ask me. We can talk about plants. It's Plant Parenthood OC, and my TikTok is CarlaLaRod.
Nice.
I'm gonna start posting on there more.
Oh shit.
This time for real.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Remember to take care of yourself and each other.
Thanks for watching. Bye.